welcome. It's John Cole Morgan here today, and I'm so excited. We've got the fabulous Paula Doyle. Paula, welcome.
Hello, welcome Quilting World.
Oh, I'm so excited. Now, Paula, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. I doubt there are people who don't know who you are, but just in case there are a few.
Oh, well, I'm a quilter. I write books, I write patterns. Well, I've done a lot of other stuff like the Magna Carta quilt. So I've been quilting since 1990 now.
Wow.
That's when I started in earnest.
Now, where are you from? You've got a slight accent. It's not the usual British lilt.
I was born in Massachusetts about 1 million years ago. And but I've moved all around the world. You know, my parents were missionaries. So I grew up in Brazil. Then college in the States. Then I met my wonderful husband back in '76. After a career in banking in California, I moved to England to be with him. And yeah, here we are. And we've traveled since. We've lived in Canada as well, and the US again at one stage. So I started quilting when we were in Canada, and I had a brand new baby. Yes.
Whereabouts in Canada were you?
We were in Montreal.
Lovely. One of my best friends is a quilter from Montreal. She's amazing.
Oh, what's her name?
It's Tracy Arnott. She was one of the series I did as well. She's lovely.
Right. Okay. I don't know her, but you know, I know quite a few quilters from there.
But there seems to be a really big community in Canada as well.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. You know, yeah, absolutely. One of the biggest quilting guilds I've ever belonged to was Beaconsfield Quilters Guild, which is in Montreal.
How amazing. So you're now in the UK permanently? Is this your now final stop, as it were?
I've been here since 1987.
So it's just a phase then, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I've lived in England the longest I've lived anywhere. And I am a British citizen now. So
well, lovely to have you.
I'll try to get the accent down a bit better.
You're doing brilliantly. Now tell me, you've got Green Mountain Quilts just over your shoulder. What's that?
Okay, well, Green Mountain Quilts was the name of my business that I opened in 1995. I had a quilt shop for 13 years called Green Mountain Quilts. I closed the business in 2008, but I've still kept the name because that's what I trade under to sell my books and patterns.
Now talk to me about your books and patterns. You are so talented with your work. We're going to see a lot of it now, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, you will see. Now Green Mountain Quilts actually originates, it's from Vermont, because my family is from Vermont. So it's the Green Mountain Strait. So Vermont in French, Vermont, right? Green Mountain.
How brilliant.
Yes.
How many books have you written? Because I think I have 2 or 3 of them.
You have 2 of them. If the 2 that were published, I have lots that were unpublished. You know, I have stories on that if you ever want to hear about my unpublished history.
I think those are going to be the good ones, aren't they? We could do it as an anthology, the unpublished works of Paula Doyle.
Yeah, I know. I was just talking to somebody about that the other day, and yeah, it's a story in itself. But it's also a story about if at first you don't succeed, try again. Because the on the 3rd time of trying, I got C&T Publishing, and they backed me and published my first book, and that was in 2012. That was Mini Mosaics.
Right? I have definitely got that one. I love this book.
I'm sure you do, because Mini Mosaics is all about making small scale patchwork. But you're just doing it by machine, and you're doing just straight stitch, no applique or anything like that. And you produce things like that, you know, that are just a bit of a smaller scale. And these are great because I can show them all on the here on the screen without doing anything. So it does little quilts like this, but you can also do things like bags, you know, so that's a bag that's been made with Mini Mosaics.
That
And
is amazing.
yeah, and even smaller things like that's a pin cushion, and you know, and things like that. So anyway, that's a wallet.
I love
Um,
the way you're minimizing this, but we're looking at it and go, show me the wallet, show me the wallet. That looks amazing.
you want the wallet?
Of
Okay, here we
course.
go. So that's the wallet. That's the pattern for it. That's the mini mosaic bit, and that's the inside. So it's got a space for your ID and any credit cards that you might want, and even a place for a sewing kit there. So
That's
that's a
amazing.
minimalist wallet. All of these instructions are in the book.
Fabulous. And your books are still available, aren't they?
The mini mosaic book, I still have a few of the original books. Right now, the book is available as an ebook from C&T, and also as a print on demand. But I do have some on my website if anybody
Oh,
wants that.
I think we're going to need to get a signature on a couple of those for me on those.
No problem. I can certainly do that. Yeah, and we also sell things like patterns that didn't make it into the book because I did them afterwards, and then the grids, which I don't know if you've tried it, but the grids, which are in the back of the book, there are the important bit to piecing these quilts, and so I do sell those separately too for people who don't have the book.
Brilliant. Well, I think everybody should have the book. I think that's
Yeah. Oh, well, that would be nice. Yeah, I mean, it's as I say, it will be available on, or it is available on print by demand, or on, and I do have a few copies here still.
Well, one less now.
Yeah. Okay.
But now
Right.
talk me through, what was the second book? Talk me through the second book.
Well, the second book was Easy Stack, and that was 2018. That's this book here. And if you're familiar with the term stack and whack, it's done with the same way, but a little bit easier to follow because a lot of the blocks for Easy Stack are just 4 pieces of stacked fabric instead of 6 or 8, which you know, the one block wonders and the stack and whack are. The other thing about the Easy Stack is that you don't waste any fabric because of the way that I show you how to stack the fabric. And so you can actually do the other techniques if you use my stacking method, which is in the book. So
what I love is I adore the 8-piece stack and wax selection. I love those. And
yeah,
I do quite a few of those. And one of the classes I taught recently, a student had done your class as well. And she merged your 4 stack in with the 8 stack. It looked incredible.
I love seeing the people using the technique and making it their own. I think that people are so creative, and a lot of the stack and wax is all about the fabrics that you use. This fabric here was a Philip Jacobs fabric, and you can see some of the different blocks that you get, and they're just wonderful. The variety of things.
They really are. I heard something from a friend of mine once, and she said the uglier your fabric, the better it is for a stack and wax. I'm not sure if that's true, but I have seen some really amazing fabric stack and wax with some pretty ugly fabric.
I agree. When they start out, you sort of think, what, you know, but it's actually down to the size of the motif. If the size of the motif is about 2 to 3 inches in size, then you're okay for stack and wax. If you have anything smaller than that, it's not going to show up so well. You might want to try to do, like, this is a good fabric for it. See, this is a Paula Nadelstern fabric.
Oh, she's amazing. That's
I know. Well, she took her name from me, Paula, you know, so there you go. So this one here, you can see that it's just an 8-inch repeat. If you sort of look at, let's look at the edge of the fabric here, and you see this little green curl right there. The next time I see that green curl, which is right here, so that's 8 inches apart. And all I need to do is count those repeats along the edge of the fabric and cut 4 of them and stack them. And I have a really easy way to stack them, as I say. So it's wonderful, and you get amazing stuff. Now, this type of fabric is one of those that if you saw it in a shop you might sort of think, well, what would I do with that? I love it, but so the answer is stack, and an easy stack, really. And
Because I think that's one of the problems. A lot of people want to do the stack and whack method, but they don't actually know how to buy the fabric. And until they've actually seen one that's come out. And the difficulty with fabric is the minute you've seen it, you've used it, you've cut it, you've shown it, no one can get it anyway.
Yeah. So this is one fabric here that I've done in this quilt. And you can see the variety of patterns that you get out of that one fabric. It's absolutely amazing, what you get. So that was book number 2. What's next?
Well, first of all, who is that?
Who is that?
The little Lily.
Oh, this is Lily, my assistant, my very dirty assistant. She's got very muddy paws. Yes, she joined our family about a year ago during the pandemic. And yes, she's our constant companion now. She's
very well loved, you can tell.
Oh, well, yeah, she's dirty now though, but we don't care. And she gets to sit on my quilts too.
Between the threads and the puppies, we don't mind at all, do we?
No. Now,
you mentioned that you took part in the Magna Carta quilt. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, it basically was a quilt project that we started for the 800th anniversary of the sealing of the Magna Carta, which happened in Runnymede, which is only about 3 miles away from here. And we were approached by the 800th Commission group and asked to make a series of quilts. And that happened, and so the quilts were produced for 2015, for June 15th, 2015. And it was me, I was one of the lead artists, and Allison Garner was the other lead artist in that. But we actually were working with 25 quilters in the area to produce the quilts.
That's incredible.
And we created 4 quilts that were the story of Magna Carta and how it came about, and Bad King John, and so that was done sort of like a cartoon style. So it actually was just the whole story that way. And then the other 4 quilts, there were 8 quilts in total. The other 4 quilts were celebrating heroes and heroines of the human rights issues across the years, across the centuries, and across the world. So it has pictures of the trees with the faces of the human rights heroes and heroines. This is the Magna Carta quilts at Guildford Cathedral, where they went after they went to the 800th celebration.
What an incredible project to be a part of, though. How many people took part in total? Did you say 25? It
was 25, yes. And the quilts were here for the 800th. They went to Guildford Cathedral. They've been to Festival of Quilts, but they also went to Houston and to Chicago after that. So they're very well traveled. They are now in the collection of the permanent collection of the British Quilt Guild, the Quilters Guild of the British Isles. I'm hoping that in 2025 there's another big Magna Carta celebration. So I'm hoping that they'll get a really good outing, and maybe another trip from that. But it was wonderful.
So you must have gone to quilt shows all over the world, having traveled as well as you have.
Oh, it was absolutely, it was amazing. And again, as you say, there was no money involved or anything like that. So we all had to do it under our own steam, and begging and for fabric and all sorts of things like that. But we had a lot of generous donations and a lot of generous people that had very generous spirits. Macao Fabric is the one who donated quite a bit of the fabric for the Magna
They are
Carta.
very generous. I love Macao.
Yes, yeah, my favorite.
So now I have one of the things you've been working on recently is ravioli quilts. I am
Yes.
besotted with your ravioli quilts. They are gorgeous.
They all started with me wanting to make quilts out of upcycling blue jeans. So, you know, I used to get blue jeans from my son, and now I get them from everybody. And they usually have holes like that in the crotch, and there's not much you can do with them. The problem with blue jeans is that they're also very hard to recycle. So they end up in landfill because they have buttons and zips and all sorts of big seams and everything. Habitat for Humanity, Jimmy Carter's outfit, they are recycling them as loft insulation for houses.
I never knew that.
Yes, I just found that out recently. But I'm making quilts out of them. And so the ravioli quilts are them. I'm going to show you one right now. This is one that Lily uses. It's a dog-sized quilt. So out of one pair of jeans and some flannel, you can make a nice dog-sized quilt like that.
And that you've done Quilt As You Go, haven't you?
Oh, it's all Quilt As You Go. Gosh, you know, this is super, super easy. Do you want me to show you how?
If you could, that'd be wonderful.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I've got it all. So you're going to want to have a piece of denim. Now, usually I cut those out of the legs of the jeans, and that's a 6-inch square of denim. I also have another one that's a little bit easier to mark. You have a piece of wadding. This is 6 inches. This is a piece of wadding rotary cut 5 inches. And I use that as a leftover wadding bits from my quilts, you know, from the edges of the quilts.
As a long armor, we have loads, and you never know what to do with them.
Well, my long armor, she returns them to me. So
fabulous.
I know. So I have lots of things that I can cut into 5-inch squares. Then I have a 6-inch square of flannel. And then just to help quilt it, I've cut another piece of flannel. Now this one you can probably see the edges are actually cut with a crinkle cutter. It's a
bit like one of those pinking shears, isn't it? Oh, you use that.
Yeah, it's a pinking sheet. It's a pinking blade for your rotary cutter, and everybody makes them. All the different manufacturers make them, and that will come in just a minute here. So I'm going to use. Okay, I'm going to use my ravioli ruler. I don't know if you can see that, but anyways, it's clear. It's a 6-inch ruler with a hole in the side, and it's got a channel a 1/2 inch in that I'm going to mark. You can also, by the way, if you don't want to have a ravioli ruler, you can make yourself a template and use your 6-inch rotary cutting ruler. But it's, you know, if you're going to make a lot of ravioli quilts, you're going to want a ravioli ruler.
I'm guessing these ravioli rulers are available on your website.
Of course, darling.
Wonderful. I'm putting a link up right now. Get your ravioli ruler here.
All right. So what I do is the first thing I do is I'm going to mark up my piece of denim. And I'm going to place my ravioli ruler on top of that. So I've got myself one of those dreaded Frixion pens, and I'm just going to mark in that channel that's a 1/2 inch inside the raw edge. And this is on the right side of the denim, right? I'm also going to mark that center square right there. That's just to tell me where I want to quilt. And then I'm going to take the denim and turn it over, and I'm going to mark it again just in that channel, so that I have a 5-inch square marked out on the wrong side of the denim. And now I'm going to take my lovely glue stick, and I'm going to just, you can probably see that I just make a dot of the glue from the glue stick right there. I take my 5-inch square of wadding, and now I have a place to line it up. So that's the wadding in place. And then I take the 6-inch square of flannel, and that's going to be my little sandwich. And then I'm going to just take that extra square of flannel and again, just put some glue where that center square is. And that is my sandwich to make the ravioli.
You make it look so easy.
It is so easy. And you don't even, yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Now, if you have dark flannel like that one there, you can get something. I love this pen. It's the Clover Fine Marking Pen, fine white line. And this is available at quilt shops. And the thing about it is that even on the darkest of the flannels, it'll mark a nice white line. Isn't that amazing? So I can do that. It takes, the one thing about this pen is it seems like it's not working, but it takes a while to develop. And so you just wait for a minute, and all of a sudden you start to see the lines developing like that.
That is very clever.
I know. I couldn't believe it. Susan Briscoe showed me that trick. So I've got another sandwich here. So it's all marked. And what I do next is I'm just going to take some of those clover clips, and I'm just going to hold down the end just so they don't fly around while I stitch. And the next step is I stitch all around that square with my sewing machine. And then I stitch inside that center square. So now this ravioli is completely quilted. And the only thing I need to do now is to do something about the edge. So I'm going to go back to my ravioli ruler. And again, you can do this with your 6-inch ruler if you want. There's a little line, a quarter of an inch in from the edge, white, and I'm just going to line that up with my seam. And now I'm going to take my pinking blade, and I'm just going to trim that off like that.
And the pinking blade will stop it fraying, won't it?
Exactly. And not only that, the other trick about the pinking blade is to not necessarily do it fast. You just want to do it nice and steady, and that pinking blade will cut beautifully. So once you've done that on all 4 edges, you end up with the ravioli. See?
It's incredible. If you wanted to do more quilting now, I suppose you could embroider in the middle of the ravioli.
Of course, you can do anything you want. You can do anything you want. I'll show you some variations in just a minute here. So here's 2 raviolis ready to go into a quilt. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the little clips again, and I'm going to clip the edges together and stitch. So now I'm stitching them together. And that's what the back looks like.
All of that's genius.
Yeah, and then if you do a whole row, then this is a row, and I use the bigger clips there where I have where the blocks meet up. I have one this seam allowance going one way, the bottom seam allowance going the other way, like that. And now I'm going to stitch it all together by machine and remove the clips as I go. And you've got the quilt.
That's incredible.
So as you say, you can use lots of options. Here's ones that I've just done quilting in the center square. So a nice place to practice your free motion quilting. So that square that you've marked in the center is going to be a really nice quilt, just using those. You could also do appliques. So here's a star applique that I made from this fabric. And again, if you're going to do appliques, you probably want a stabilizer and to do the satin stitch before you make your ravioli. Here's the ravioli already made. Yeah. Here's one with a different fabric motif, the little hearts. This one's from this fabric. I took one of those and made a motif out of that. You can even cut motifs from other. This is cat fabric, or you can buy motifs. You know, when you at the haberdashers, or you can do yo-yos like that. Now, the other thing that I've done recently. Well, here's first of all. Here's a big ravioli quilt. I'll send you a picture.
Oh, wow.
That one is a nice, that's the one that I sleep under, you know, if I'm here in the conservatory. But it's a really nice one. And not only that, it's completely reversible. So that's the front of it, all made with jeans. That's the back of it. It's just all the flannel squares. So it's completely reversible. It's so cozy. And then there's this one here that I've done. You see, I've done sort of a sunflower here, and I've just finished a 70 by 70 inch sunflower quilt.
That is gorgeous.
That's so I'm going to show you how I did that. Again, it was the same idea. I just started with a circle in the center that glued, and I did an extra bigger circle in white there, so I could figure out where I'm going to be putting the stitching. Then again, stitch all around, and then I've done a buttonhole stitch around the flannel, and then just done the sunflower. Here's another one done just in blue, and I've used some old batik fabric. And again, you don't need to back it with flannel. You can back it with anything you want. But that's so.
You make it look so easy, but I'm just loving that. The circles, did you have a ruler for the circles as well?
No, I just used templates like that and cut them, you know, so yeah.
I can just imagine all the ladies going around their kitchen finding the right size saucer for the perfect circle.
Yes, well, these are the Karen K. Buckley circles. You buy the set, and they have circles in all these different sizes. So yeah, perfect.
Genius idea. I'm so surprised. I'm not surprised somebody came up with it.
Oh gosh, yeah, I love gadgets. I think I have more gadgets than I have fabric, you know, so.
Oh, I don't know I can say that.
Oh, well, I think it's my job to try all the gadgets so I can tell people about them, all about them, you know, about which scissors I like, which rotary things I like, you know, all that. That's my job.
You are infectiously, wonderfully excitable about this, and I love it. It's wonderful to see.
Well, thank you. And there's a complete video on all of this. I have a mini mosaic video on my website that's free to watch, an easy stack one, and the ravioli quilt is on there too, plus a couple of other things. But I'm on YouTube, so you can look that up. And if anybody's a member of the quilt show in the States with Ricky Timms and Alex Anderson, I did an episode for them back in 2018 too, just before I had the quilt shown in Houston, because I had an exhibition in Houston of the Easy Stack.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, well, I think it was down to the Magna Carta quilt, because the Magna Carta quilts got to Houston because Carrie Breslin loved the idea. And she said, right, we're having it. And she pushed everything out of the way. And in 2015, after we finished the celebrations here, we went straight to Houston. And I think it was based on that, because she just loved us. She loved the quilts and she loved us. And I think that's why she gave me the gallery for the Easy Stack, you know. Oh, well, I'm going to be at Festival of Quilts doing my jean stuff. And it's not just ravioli quilts, you know. I'm going to be doing things like this, you see, that's all done with denim too. And look, even the back puffs. Yeah, they're puffs. It's called biscuit quilting.
That's incredible.
And then that's the back.
It's got a pocket. It's got a pocket. I love it. It's got a pocket.
Yes, it's got two. It's got the shirt pocket here, and that's the button palette. That's the opening for the cushion.
The fact I cannot do a zip for love nor money, the fact that you've built in buttons to make it work, I am sold. But I do love the fact, especially as quilters, that you are now going back to the upcycling side of things, because quilting originally was people didn't have the money for clothing and for keeping everything warm, and they use their old sorts of clothing. You're just bringing back the original formation of it. I love this.
Well, I think that it's the time to go green, isn't it? Green Mountain Quilts. Yay. Well,
you were ahead of your time.
I just didn't know it. I've done a bench runner too, that with the ravioli. It's the same principle of the ravioli, but I didn't have a lot of flannel. I had pieces of flannel, so I made leftover blocks instead of one piece of flannel.
Paula, this is so exciting. So you're going to be at festival in August?
Yes. I'll be there, I think, on a Saturday doing a lecture about the jeans, and I'm going to be doing some t-shirt stuff too.
How brilliant! So what's next for you? What are you working on at the moment?
Well, I'm still working on that. I'm doing a ton of baby quilts because it seems that the family is producing. So I have nieces producing. I have, my son and his new wife are having a baby. And
congratulations! Is that your first grandchild?
My very first. So I'm so looking forward to that. And needless to say, there's a lot of quilting going on there.
I bet. You were talking on your Facebook picture, you started doing something. What I love is you started posting pictures of squares of fabric this week. And the next thing, voila, a jigsaw. It's incredible. Where do you get your ideas from, your inspiration on it?
Well, I was talking to a friend, and I think they just sort of mull around in my head for like forever. And then one day it just sort of like, aha, I have this idea, and I think it's completely mine, and it's probably not. Because my friend reminded me of a toy that we used to have when we were young called Lincoln Logs, and they are very similar to the puzzle pattern, the jigsaw puzzle pattern that I've posted on Facebook. Oh, well, here we go. Lily's joined me again.
Well, I think she loves her mummy very much.
Oh, well, she loves her daddy better because he has a ball. That he's
Paula, I can't thank you enough for your time today. Honestly, what a wonderful, wonderful evening for us to have been able to share with you. Thank you so much.
Well,
I look forward to seeing you at the Festival of Quilts, if not before.
Excellent. Yeah, because I'm only down the road from you. I'm not in America.
I am definitely, even if you were, I'd come and visit you in America.
Good. Okay. All righty.
Thank you so much. Stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.